And it does say this hangout on there is live. So, okay, what's going on? Earlier this morning, I woke up and I recorded the implementation of a profile editor view model for this Nikeza mobile application that I'm building, referencing the Nikeza.io web application, right? And so I could share my screen. Oh, come here. Let me share my screen. Yes. Share it. Dejo. All right. Share my screen. Yeah. Essentially, let me kill you. Yes. Essentially, the the end product, right, was this the case or this portal.profileeditor.viewModel, right? And this is the class that was constructed, and I have a whole bunch of imports that are right here. Yes. Well, more importantly, I have my view model down here. And this is what I recorded myself constructing maybe 3 or 4 hours ago. It was no, I think it was like 4:30 in the morning when I did this. So I don't know what the math is. 3.5 hours ago. I don't know what the math is. So this is the view model. Each view model has an event occurred member variable that's ultimately used when we forward a command to our workflow. It's this right here, which the execution of that workflow from a command that is provided will result in a list of domain events. We take the list of domain events and we basically publish those domain events for a client to basically respond to. And that's pretty much it. Now, what I didn't do is I did not write an automated test. So anybody that knows me, anybody that has worked with me on a project, I am a militant. I am pretty much a Nazi when it comes to automated tests. Translated, when it comes to writing proven code, aka testable code. And so what I mean by that is, as far as I'm concerned, your code isn't done until it's proven. And your code isn't really proven until you have some form of a test that says so. And so this is what I call quality controls, right? It it is, I would say, and I'm sure I'll piss off some people, but I don't care about them, is I would say it is unprofessional not to have a quality control, right? Or an automated checklist of the requirements that are to be implemented in a checklist that says that they've been implemented, right? And so I look at these unit tests as an automated checklist of the requirements that have been completed. And well, this automated checklist will not only basically document the requirements that have been completed, but it will also document breaking changes as the system or the solution continues to evolve, okay? And that's why this is important, right? It's an automated checklist that 95% of developers that call themselves professionals still don't know how to write a basic unit test. Anyway, that's me venting. So what, Scott? So what? Well, this video, I'm going to attempt to basically write an automated test that targets this view model. Yes. And so I have this project over here called example based. And we have registration here, we have recent here, and well, I need to add a profile editor here. Yes. So come here. Yeah, I say underscore profile editor. Okay, and this profile editor is going to be my test, and I guess I need to prepare to add a test, something like that. And well, that's the attribute. Oh, okay. Well, I need to have a test, right? Okay, let's have a test. What's the test going to be called? It's going to be called save profile, something like that. Okay. And well, we say save edited profile. Perhaps that's better. Okay, this is going to return a unit. Every test will have a setup stage, yes sir. Every test will have a test stage, yes sir. Every test will have a verify stage, yes sir. And this is implicit. Every test would have a cleanup stage, yes. But our garbage collector running on the common language runtime handles that for us. So we don't have to be explicit about that. No, we don't, okay? I need to do some imports. Well, import what, Scott? Well, say imports this conglomerate called FS unit. Oh, come here. Come here, FS unit. Oh, come here. FS units. Yes. Okay. And then we have this open and in units dot framework. Oh, yes. Okay. And so now what? We have save edited profile test. Well, what are we going to do with that test? Well, we need to introduce this notion of let profile editor come here. Oh, someone should have told me I had my caps on. Let profile editor come here equals view model. Yes, come here, view model. Something like that. Yes. No, yo, what are you doing? Come here. Something like that. Okay. And this view model is recognized, but I bet you it's not pointing to the view model that I want. No, sir. It is pointing to a recent, or yeah, that's not what I want. Oh, what is this view model pointing to? Come here. That's pointing to recent. All right. I don't want it to point to recent. I want it to point to this profile editor.view model. This over here. Where's my test at? And so really want this right here. Update that. And we're pointing to our profile editor. Yes. Okay, so we have our profile editor view model. Now what do we want to do? Well, our setup is to basically say profile editor dot first name equals, and we say some first name. First name, okay? But some first name isn't recognized because that comes from our test API. Open, can I do a test API right here? Yes, test API, okay? And well, there should be some first name that's in here. Come here, come here, come here. If I go to my test API, I have, well, I have some email and some password. I don't have some first name. So let's create some first name. Let's create some first name here. Let some first name that I'm doing inside my test API equals Scott Dog. Yes. Okay. And some last name is going to be, let me hold up now. Something like this, some last name. And we say Nimrod. Yes, Nimrod. That's my last name. And OCD says you should line all this. Okay, OCD, your wish is granted. And so we have some first name, some last name. Okay, so boom, 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 boom. Now what? This is complaining because it is saying possible indentation. No, yeah, you're right. So we bring this up here and we do something like that, okay? So then we say profile editor last name equals some last name. Come here, like last name equals some last name. Last name equals some last name, like that, okay? And we say, what are you complaining about now? It says the result of this is discarded, something like that. And well, is it complaining because we probably need to do something like this? And it doesn't like that either. Why don't you like that? It says property first name cannot be set. Well, why can't you be set first name? Why can't you be set? Because maybe because we didn't provide a getter setter over here. Okay. So we say member x dot first name within our view model. We say with it equals, and then we say first name, which we didn't introduce yet, and set, which is a value in here, equals, and we say first name. First name will be mutated with the value like that, okay? And so we need to define first name. And so to define first name, we go up here and we say let mutable first name equal something like that, okay? And we got to follow suit with everything else. Say let mutable last name equals something like this, last name, okay? OCD says align everything, okay? And we also need email too, right? Say let mutable email, yes. And OCD says make sure everything's aligned. Okay, first name, last name, email. Okay, first name, last name. Yeah, we need to have topics as well. And so we have let mutable topics, something like this, topics. And topics. Ultimately, it's going to be observable collection, but for right now, we're just going to make it a list like that. Yeah. Okay. And so we have that. Okay. And we're just going to follow suit. Copy, paste, inheritance, homie. Yes. Hold up. Get rid of all this. Get rid of all this. And we do something like this. And this is not first name, but it's going to be last name. Something like that. Last name, okay? And this email, you're going to follow suit, homie. Email, you're going to be, instead of first name, you're going to be email, something like this, email. And we have topics that's left over. And topics, my friend, you're going to follow suits. Instead of topics, well, instead of first name, which is copy, paste, inheritance, we say topics, something like that. Topic, come here. Topic, something like that. Yes. Okay. Does everything still build? Does everything still build? You know, if I had enterprise, I could make everything run off of every build, but I'm using community edition. So everything builds, okay? So now what? Well, let's go back to our test that we're constructing, this profile editor. And we did profile editor, first name, last name. We need to do email, and we also need to do topics like this over here. And we say profile editor dot email like that equals some email like that. Come here. Yes. And the last thing is topics. And so we go over here and we say profile editor dot topics. Come here. Something like that. And we have, topics isn't really needed though. That's not required. So automated tests should also serve as documentation. This is what we're really testing. You don't need topics. That should be optional. Okay. So now what? Well, what's our test? Well, it's going to be profile editor dot, should be a save command dot execute. And execute is not being recognized. And it's not being recognized because we need to expose the iCommand interface for this delegate command. And to do that, how do you do that? I think you do like some like, how do you do this? Like command. Oh, I don't know how to do this. Save command needs to be, how do you do this? It needs to be a I command like that. How do you do this? How do you do this? We can, how do you do this? We have our save command that we need to expose as a I command. Do we do it over here? Like, we do that and then we say I command like that? Maybe. If we try to do it like that, then the red squiggly goes away. Yes. Okay. And so then we have a verify. And the verify is going to be, what are we verifying? We need to verify that a save occurred, right? And so to do that, I know that this is going to raise an event. So we need to take the event that, how are we going to do this? We say, first we say let mutable save, I can't spell occurred, I hope this is right, equals false. And what we want to do is we want to say for our profile editor, we want to say like profile editor dot, and we need to add, how's this going to work? How is this going to work? This profile editor is going to have a event occurred property exposed on it. This, well, it's going to expose a event for subscribers such as this automated test can subscribe to. And we would add function that would look like save, well, we would have to pattern match on the event. We have to pattern match on the event, and we would say that, how we want to do this? How do we want to do this? These are actually events because there's going to be a list that the workflow returns. Remember, a workflow takes in a command and it returns a list. And so we will have events. And what I would like to say is with those events, we would want to say events list dot iter and say function event, something like that. And we would want to say event function. And what we want to figure out is we want to say, is the event a, now I have to go to figure out what the events are. So I could, this is under the profile bounded context, and there's events here, and we have a profile saved event right here with a profile. Okay. Oh, do I really need this right here? Yeah, so we have a profile saved event that's in nikeza.mobile.profile events. So say profile saved event, and then we have profile. And well, we don't care about that. And if that event if that event is of profile save, then we say event or we say save occurred is true. Okay. And if it's not, then we say well, if it's not, then we don't do anything. Well, we could say actually, yeah, we could just do this. That should be fine. Actually, we could just bring this right here. Okay. Now we need to expose this event occurred because that's not on our view model yet. So to do that, we go to our view model and we have I guess I'll put it at the bottom of here. We say member x dot event occurred. I think something like this. And this is going to be, I need to expose an event right here. I think the way we do this is we say event occurred dot publish, something like that. Or we're publishing the event occurred, and then this publish function over here actually triggers it right here. Yeah, I think that's the way it's going to work. So publishes an observation as of, I think this is the way that it's supposed to work. If I go back to my automated test, come here. It says, what does this complain about? This events occurred. It's actually event occurred. It's actually taking, it's not a profile event, it's a list of profile events, which means that in our workflow, we say result of our editor events. Yeah, this should be right. Profile event list. That emits, and then we say publish, which takes in a list. We say event occurred. That's weird. So if we do profile event like this, do I say list? I'm sure something's going to be upset. and I say publish does not match event list. All right, so I'm not sure how this is going to work. If I look at other examples, such as registration, it doesn't rely on a list of events. Okay. So let me go back here and let me turn that back to wildcard. But the thing is my automated tests for profile editor is complaining about this because it thinks it should be okay. Let's trust the compiler for right now. Boom boom. Hold up. Something like this. Doesn't know what profile saved is. It's not defined. And if I go to my events over here, profile saved is under profile event. Maybe I need to import this module in the case of mobile profile events. Say open. And if I do that, it should be recognized. And at the end, for verify of this test, I want to say save occurred should equal true. Something like that. Try to build everything. Let's see if everything builds. And everything builds. Now there's something that I'm missing. What I'm missing is I know for a fact that within the profile editor, within our workflow, that workflow, it takes the save command and it ultimately, when it's in production, it's going to do a IO operation from this try save right here, right? Try save ultimately will be a IO operation, meaning that it's going to be a web request talking to an external system, hence some server somewhere out there. And so if I were to run this test right here called save edited profile, then it's going to fail, because if we go to the definition of this save, by default, it's error. It returns an error and then the profile associated to that error, right? And so what we really want is we want this workflow to actually receive an implementation of a save. So we want to pass in a function that will do the saving for us. And this is going to support the testing of business logic when we don't want the save operation to be hard coded to an actual IO request, but the client passes in the function that they want this workflow to use for persisting data. Okay, so it'll look something like this: save function. Okay, and that save function will be used instead of try save. We would have a save function right here. Okay. Now that save function it's not defined. In order to define it, we would have to put it, I think, right here, say function, and I think it's right here. This save function is actually going to take, how's this going to work? This save function is actually going to take the, if we look at our IO, hold up, let me go back. The IO was right here, and it's called save function. Yeah, so should be able to just do this. It doesn't recognize that. Open try, yeah. Okay. And that's happy over here. Now what? This save function, its signature is it takes a validated profile as input and it returns a result. So what we want to do is in our test API, if I go to test API, I want to mock that save profile. So in here in the test API, we'll see that I already have some mocks in here. It's getting harder to hit the return thing. I have mock submit, mock recent, right? And I'm going to add another function. Uh-oh, come here. I'm going to add another function here called let mock save. And that's going to output a save function. Okay. That save function is going to, we don't care what the command is. It is going to return a list. Save function actually takes two. Does it? Oh yeah, I'm missing this over here. Equals, something like that. Are you still giving me red squiggly? Okay, fine. And in this list, if we look at the save function, the save function says it takes a validated profile, returns a result. Oh, okay. So we say returns okay. And we don't need this, but it needs a profile, I think, right? Save function returns a result of, if it's an error, a validated profile. I don't know. What does a validated profile look like? It's just a record type that takes a profile. Okay. So say something like this, say profile equals, and we should just be able to say some profile like that, and it should be happy. And it doesn't know what yeah, you should be happy. Why aren't you happy? It's a validated profile. Maybe I need to do something like this. Validated profile dot profile. And it doesn't know what validated profile is. And then I do that. And it's still giving me a hard time. The expression was expected to have type profile. Okay, fine. Oh yeah, because we're saying okay. And it says that the record type profile does not contain the label profile. Okay. Originally, I tried to do this right here. And okay, that's all I needed. So I try to build, and we'll see what the results of the build is. And it failed. And it failed because I got a warning right here that I need to resolve. Main module program is empty, nothing will happen when it is run. If I do control \E, the save function is not defined. Okay. And that is in my view model. It doesn't know what the save function is. And that's because the save function is going to be injected into the view model. So we have like something over here, we have save function, subtype save function, like that. And it doesn't know what save function is. So we have to tell it that save function is in our, we should say Nikeza.mobile.profile.try module. Is going to break some things. And we import that, say open nikeza.mobile.profile.try. And so it's happy about that. But now we need to update it over here, where in our test API, we have that over here, and our view model for edited profile needs to have our mock save. Yes, good stuff. And we should hopefully be able to build. And it's building. And it says that we still have some loose ends that we need to fix up. This try.submit, need to import that. And when we do that, should be able to say open the nikeza.mobile.profile. Does that, which means that we can get rid of that here. And we could try to build again. And everything builds. Now the question is, will the tests pass? So the save edited profile will, let me align my columns. That save edited profile assigns a value to the profile editor first name, assigns a value to the profile editor last name, assigns a value to profile editor.email. That's for setup. It then says profile editor.save command.execute. And that execute is actually going to have a side effect in which it mutates the save occurred value, which we defined in our setup of the test right here, which by default we assign false, but we expect there to be an event occurred, event triggered on our profile editor, in which we have an opportunity to handle within our automated tests, in which we take the event and we check to see if that event is an event of profile being saved. If it's the event of a profile being saved, then we mutate the save occurred value to true. And that is it. That's what we're verifying right here in the verification stage. So if I try to run this specific test, cross my fingers and see what happens if it's true or false. This test, or should I say if it passes or fails. And the test fails. It says expected true, but it was false. Okay. Oh, why were you false? First, let's see if this event occurred actually gets triggered. So I'll put a breakpoint in there, and I'll run the test in debug mode. Debug, select the test. And this event occurred, never gets triggered. Okay. Okay. So if I go to my save command, this says save here. And what I want to do is, how does this work? Say publish, event occurred, but we never, well, if I go to this publish here, the event occurred, that trigger gets set here. So the question is, does this ever get executed? So we put a breakpoint right here. We rerun this test. Right click, debug, select the test. And it never gets executed. Okay. So now what? Well, let's actually step through the code of this save command. So debug to select the test. Step into the save command, action, call save, and we don't have a profile. The profile is null, which is defined up here as none. So we don't have a profile. What needs to happen is we need to execute some code that will give us some profile, because by default the profile is set to none. And so this profile, if we do Shift F12, we see that it gets assigned to something when we call can save, which is a local function or a private function within our view model. The thing is one would think that if you call this save command, one would think that it would first see if it can save right here before it calls save. And we can figure that out by setting a breakpoint on can save to figure out how this delegate command works. And so we right click again. And this keyboard is getting really stiff. Right click again, debug, and chances are when we execute this save command, when we execute the save command, this can save never gets triggered. So yeah, it never gets triggered. So what we need to do is we need to expose a validate function or a validate method on the profile editor. And so what I mean by that is, so let me kill this. we'll have another command in addition to the save command called, I guess, to maintain order. A validate will always come before a save. Say validate command, okay? The validate command will basically call, this will always be true for if you can call the validate command. And what we want to do is we want to say, we want to call can't save, which is going to return can't save should be a method, yeah, it should be a function that returns a unit. So we got to put this right here. And what else? Because it returns it accepts a unit. It returns true or false, which means that the actual execute code of this command returns a unit. It doesn't return a bool. That's why we have the red squiggly. But can't save, when it can save, it will actually call refresh state. And that refresh state, which is right here, is how we basically get a profile value. When it's originally set to none, then we get some profile value if the validation works. So what that means is we should just be able to say can't save and then say ignore. And the compiler should be happy about that. And the can't save, we'll leave it like that. So if we try to build, everything should be green. Oh, our build succeeded. Now if we go in here and let's just step through this, this test. Oh, what I forgot is I need to, maybe not. There needs, in here I need to call the profile editor dot, stop this, validate dot execute, right? That's a new command that I added. That's going to be part of setup. And validate dot execute like that. Okay. And while I'm at it, do something like this. Okay. And you, my friend, you can go over here or something. And maybe we bring you back over here. So now, right click on the save edited profile, right click. I gotta take this computer in. I can't click on anything. Right click. It's not right clicking. Hold up. Right click, debug selected test. It will step through, say save, and now it returns a validated profile, and then we go ahead and execute this edit workflow, in which we pass in our mock save function. And the result of that workflow, if I step into that, is it's going to, there we go. Shoot, I didn't mean to do that. It's going to ultimately call publish. This event is, my data tip's not working. Why aren't you working, data tip? This event occurred.trigger event gets called, and we see that within our test, this profile editor.event occurred that we subscribe to now gets invoked, and this event, which my data tip's still not working, but profile saved, pattern match lined up. So we assign true to save occurred. Okay. And save occurred should equal true. And it does. Everything passes. If I run my entire suite in release mode, then I should have 4 passing tests, in which I have 4 passing tests. And that's it. So that's basically from start to finish, writing an automated test to prove that saving an edited profile works in regards to the business logic execution of it. And you know what I also want to do? I want to do something like that. And then I'll do something like this over here. And yeah, that might, I don't know, that looks kind of weird. Yeah, whatever. So let me commit this to GitHub. I gotta take this. I gotta take this laptop in. I just had them put some screws in here and it's still loose. All right, so let's say edit profile editor test for saving and commit all and push. And that's done. What I didn't do is I didn't check to make sure that all my imports look good. That looks fine. And I don't need that. Close this editor out. I could close out this. And everything up here looks, oh, I want things to line up. Something like that. Which I prefer this to be over here. Yeah. System needs to be up here. The system.windows input. This is my OCD taking over. Something like that. And that's fine. Yeah. Like it. And we'll just commit the minor formatting updates as well. Say commit. Let's say formatting updates to profile editor ViewModel. And we had that. I hope I was sharing my screen. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. All right, so yeah, that's it. I just demoed writing an automated test that targets the business logic for saving an edited profile. as I build this mobile application for Nikeza. Oh, and that's it. So I'm out. I'm available for hire. I'm Scott Nimrod. I do mobile application development, desktop application development, test automation. I also do back end work. And yeah, I'm out. Peace.